Hello, class. I am Mr. Sutton. Today we are going to be doing skill 26, and we're going to be talking about line of best fit. We can use the line of best fit to make predictions about the data. There are two types of predictions we can make: extrapolation and interpolation. Extrapolation is an estimate of a value between the known values, and interpolation is an estimate of a value beyond the known values. Okay, so here we have an example of a line of best fit. We have some data points here. This is ice cream sales versus the temperature. So we can see correlation there. As the temperature increases, ice cream sales also increase. So we want to find the equation of the line of best fit that we're given here. So to find the equation of the line, I picked two coordinates that are on the line, not two points that are given to us. I just want to make sure they're on the line, the ones that I can easily identify what the coordinates are. So I did 16, 300, and 20, 450. Given 2 points, we can find the equation of the line. First, we need to use the points to find the slope. We need to use y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1 to get the slope. And then we can use the point slope formula using one of the points we're given, and I'll probably use this one. So I am going to go ahead and first find the slope of these 2 points. So remember, to find the slope, we need to subtract our y values, y sub 2 minus y sub 1, and put that in the numerator, and then subtract our x values, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. I got 150 over 4, which simplifies to 75 over 2, and as a decimal, that's 37.5. So now that I know what m is, I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use one of my points and put that into the point slope formula. I'm going to do that now. All right, and this is what I got when I did that. So I plugged in the slope here. So y minus the y coordinate, x minus the x coordinate, and the slope goes here. And then I distributed that to both of those terms, and then I added the 450 to the other side. I got y equals 37.5x minus 300. That is my equation for the line, and that is in y-intercept form. So now for part 2, it says, based on this equation, predict how much ice cream will be sold for a temperature of 21 degrees. So now that we have our equation, we can just plug this 21 in for x in our equation, since the temperature is on the x-axis. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that into my equation. So this is what it looks like when you plug 21 in for x into the equation. Now we just need to solve the equation. We need to multiply these numbers together and then subtract whatever that is. So whatever that is, subtract 300 from that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And this is what I got. 37.5 times 21 is 787.5. And then subtract 300 from that, you get 487.5. So that means that the ice cream will be, the sales for the ice cream will be $487.50, $487.50. For part 3, it says, based on this equation, predict how much ice cream will be sold for a temperature of 28 degrees. So we need to do the same thing here. Plug in 28 in for x. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So this is what I got when I plugged in 28 into the equation. So 37.5 times 28 is 1,050, and then take that number minus 300. I got 750. So that is the sales for ice cream when the temperature is 28 degrees. So if you look back at the beginning here, extrapolation is between the known values. So this 21 degrees, this number right here is an extrapolation, right? It's between the numbers we're given. This right here, 28 degrees, this is an interpolation because it's beyond what we're given in the graph here. So this value is an interpolation. Number 4, what is the y-intercept of the equation? What does it mean in this situation? So the y-intercept, you can find that either by plugging 0 in for x into your original equation and then solving for y. What you notice is this term will just go away. This times 0 is 0, so you'll just be left with negative 300. You can also find this just by recognizing that the b value at the end of the equation is your y-intercept and the x is always going to be 0 for the y-intercept because it's on the y-axis. So this is the y-intercept here, 0, comma, negative 300. And what does it mean in this situation? That means if the temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, x is 0, then they will lose $300. So the sales is negative 300, meaning they're losing $300. Next part, what is the slope from the equation? What does it mean in this situation? The slope is the m value we found before. That's the 37.5 we found up here. And what does that mean in this situation? For every 1 degree Celsius temperature increase, sales increase by $37.5. So if we go up here, every time this goes up 1 degree to the right, the increase in the sales is 37.5. That is the slope. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the first U try here. So here we have this graph below and answer the following questions. This is McDonald's menu prices versus calories. Okay, and we want to answer all of these questions about it. Find the equation of the line of best fit. Based on the equation, predict how much a 500 calorie meal costs. Predict how much a $10 or how many calories are in a $10 meal. And we want to find the y-intercept and the slope and interpret what they mean in this situation. So go ahead and pause the video and find all of these pieces of information in this graph. Okay, and here are the answers that I got. Now, for finding the equation of the line of best fit, I used this point here and this point here, which I said was 2, 305, 750, and that is what I used to find my slope. And then I used that slope and this point to get my equation, which I got y equals 150x in the end. Now, if you used 2 different points, which most likely you did, you will get most likely a different equation in the end, depending on how you approximated those points. Because again, these are approximations. I can't quite tell if 2 lines up exactly with 300, and I can't quite tell if 5 lines up exactly with 750. So these are approximations. So your equation is not necessarily going to be the same as mine, and that is okay as long as I can tell that you got your 2 points as approximations from the given line and that your work to come up with this equation is correct. Okay, so we are approximating here. Your answer will not necessarily be the same as mine. For part B, based on this equation, predict how much a 500 calorie meal costs. So for that, we need to plug 500 in for y because calories are on the y axis. So I did 500 equals 150x. I solved for x. I got approximately $3.33. Again, if you have a different equation, will get a different answer. But as long as you're plugging 500 into your equation, you should get full credit. For part C, this is based on the equation how many calories would be in a $10 meal. So for this, I plug that into the x because the price is on the x-axis. So 150 times 10, plugging it into this equation over here, is 1,500. So 1,500 calories. What is the y-intercept and what does it mean? The y-intercept is 0, 0. If you look, we don't have a b value here, so we could assume that we're adding 0 to the end, and that means a 0 calorie meal is free. If you pay $0, then you will get 0 calories in return. And what is the slope from the equation? What does it mean in this situation? The slope is 150 over 1. So I said for every increase of $1, the calories increase by 150. Okay. So that's the first U try. Let's go back to the notes. Here we are drawing a line of best fit for this example. So for part 6, it says draw a line of best fit on the scatter plot. So we want to come up with a line that kind of splits the difference between all of these points. I'm going to do that right now. So this is what my line looks like. Now we have a pretty straight line of plots going up here, but then they start to go down here. So I tried to split the difference a little bit and bring that line a little lower than the points that we see up here. For 7, it says use the line to estimate the salary of a nurse with 15 years experience. So for that, I took a point at 15 and I drew as straight up as I could, and it looks like it's about 56,000 to me. Again, your answers will vary, but I think somewhere between 55 and 60 is where that point should end up. Now it says use the line to estimate a salary of a nurse with 24 years experience. For that, I got 69,000. Again, I just starting at 24, I drew a line straight up, and that's about a 69,000. So somewhere around there. Finally, for the last question, it says a scatter plot shows the relationship between the number of floors above basement level office buildings downtown and the height of the buildings. The equation y equals 19 over 2x plus 10 models the line of best fit for the data. Which statement can be predicted from the equation that models the line of best fit? So for this one, for part A, or for option A, this is the height of a building with one floor is 19 over 2 feet. For part B, it says the height of a building with one floor is 10 feet. For part C, it says for every increase of 2 in the number of floors, the height of the building increases by 19. And for D, it says for every increase in the number of floors, the height of the building increases by 10 feet. So it looks like we are trying to figure out what the relation of the slope is here. And for that, I would say part C is our best answer. Our slope is 19 over 2. So as the x-axis goes up by 2, the y-axis is going to go up by 19. So it's a rise 19 over run 2. The other answers don't quite make sense. So let's take a look at this last U try as we wrap up this video. I want you to go ahead and try this on your own. This is going to be similar to the last part where we draw our own line of best fit and then use that to estimate the height of a person that weighs 73 kilograms. Go ahead and pause the video and try this one on your own. And this is what I got for my answer on this second U try. That was my line of best fit. I think it could have been a little lower, but it's pretty close. And then use the line to estimate the height of a person that weighs 73 kilograms. So that's about right here. I drew a line straight up, and that's about at 220. We're not given a unit here, so I just said 220 units. If you have any questions on this lesson or questions on the IP, please come to my office hours or Ms. Parsons' office hours. I hope you all are staying well, staying safe, and have a good day.